Cheryl Beverly. I'm 52 years old, and I founded Where Was I to Cheryl's House of Hope. Cheryl's House of Hope is a home that the ladies come in and they can stay 13 months with their child, and I help them be able to raise their children, get back in society by teaching them life skills and getting them signed up for outpatient treatment.
I'm Brittany Steele. I have a 5-year-old son named Dominic Steele. November of last year, in which I came to Chillicothe. Me and my son had a rough time in the homeless shelters around here. A nurse at Hopewell gave me Cheryl's name and called her for me and helped me get in here. And ever since then, it's just like we're at peace here.
My name is Bonnie Grace Ann McQuinnif, and I am 21 years old. I'm at Cheryl's House of Hope because I am in recovery. I've been in recovery for the past 3 months, and I really wanted to find some place that I could recover that felt more like home, and that was all women.
My name is Isabel Shauna Almond, and my daughter is Elena Shaw. I wanted to go to Cheryl's House of Hope when I initially left Stepping Stones to go to Riverside Recovery Services because I wanted to be closer to home, and we had a mutual friend, and she actually told me about Cheryl's House of Hope while I was in jail. And her daughter was currently living there at the time while she was in jail. And so she told me that this was a good place to be and how nice everybody was here. So I wanted to be closer to home, so I transferred to Cheryl's House of Hope.
When I was 12 years old, I started drinking. My dad gave me my first shot of Hennessy. And by the 15, I was having like whole beer parties. All my friends came and everything. And then when I turned 17, almost 18, I started smoking weed. And I sold it for a while. I would sell to my dad and my brothers and sisters. We used heroin, we shot up together. He gave me meth a couple times. And we became like codependent on each other because he knew I would have it and I knew he would have it. So that's really what it was. It wasn't really more of a father-daughter relationship. It was drug buddies. We constantly used together. And that's why I ended up having to leave home. That's his life, so that's all he's ever really known. And he's still using to this day, so like I can't really go and see him. I talk to him on the phone. And the way our relationship was, like he wasn't trying to be a bad dad, he was trying to look out for me because he knew I would be doing them things. I was gonna get high. Like I feel bad talking about him, you know, but he tried, but that's just what he thought made me happy, so that's what he did.
So I've lived in Chicago for the past 4 years. The culture there is like really, everybody's drinking, everybody's partying, everybody's going out to the clubs. I got pregnant, came back to Ohio to have my daughter, and then 3 months old, I drop everything and I run back to Chicago. And then that's when I fell into like a really bad scene. I was living like pretty south, and I got to be friends with a couple people in gangs and a couple people in like the rave scene. And that's when I started doing really dangerous, stupid things like messing around with guns and harder drugs and drugs I'd never heard of, and it was stupid. I got into like such a bad place mentally that I even forgot about my own daughter. So that's why I got her name tattooed on my face, so I literally wouldn't forget about her. So here.
My addiction took off when I started using Xanax and alcohol and weed, smoking weed, and it quickly progressed to heroin, and then my downfall was with meth. And I actually used during both my pregnancies. My first daughter, I lost custody of at 3 days old. My uncle has her. I was able to keep custody of my daughter because I attended Stepping Stones. I was there for about maybe 6 months. And I completed successfully through there, and they closed my CPS case at the end of it. And I went to Riverside Recovery Services, which is a sober living. And after I was there for 3 months, and I transferred to Cheryl's House of Hope.
Everyone has to be involved in outpatient treatment. I go to Hopewell, where I'm on the Vivitrol program. I go to Scioto Payton Valley for anger management and mental health counseling, and also SUD counseling. So I'm on that.
Cheryl's House of Hope is helping me with just like having a stable environment that I've never really had before, and living kind of like on my own as my own woman.
Miss Cheryls she's really comforting, she's very welcoming.
Cheryl is really teaching me like the importance of, keeping your own space nice and clean, eating, making food.
She's very helpful with me and my daughter. Whenever I need help, she's always there to help us.
She shows me how to be with my son because my mom was never around, so she guides me with him and how to discipline him and teach him and stuff like that.
She's helped me fix my own clothes.
When I got here, Cheryl was nice enough to help with donations. Like she got people to donate clothes for Elena, and they already donated a whole big black bag, and they're bringing another bag here in a couple days.
So we do Bible studies, we make bags for the other homeless people and needy and hand them out, hygiene bags, food bags, stuff like that.
I seek treatment while I'm at Cheryls House of Hope, and luckily it's only a couple blocks away. So I get to walk to treatment.
It keeps you busy, a big house like this and a lot of people. It gives you like a purpose. It's constantly on an addict's mind, not using or using, and she just helps us get through it and sees that, that it's a life worth living.
She really lets you recover in a way that you want to recover and need to recover, and she's there for you 24/7.
Elena's in my room with me. They have a crib already set up when I got here, and they're very welcoming to her. And every day we have a tour. I've been cleaning the bathroom, and we have laundry here.
I knew how to clean, but how to just prioritize your day and get everything done and still have fun while you're doing it and laugh and joke around. So just to see a woman who is so prideful and takes care of her stuff, towards excellence, is teaching me to be the same way. And man, she can cook. She's teaching me how to cook. I love how she cooks. I'm gonna gain 50 pounds, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know, it just feels like home. Cheryls House of Hope just feels like home.
She talks about her story, Cheryl does, and everything she went through and where it's brought her to.
1968 was when I was born, and 1978 is when I found out that I, myself, was living in a dysfunctional home with a mother and a father, Harold and Carol Beverly. My mother loved my dad a lot. She was in love with Harold. Harold was an angry man, and he was an alcoholic that had become a destruction to his own problem. With that being said, I had became Harold at one time, and that was a destruction. In 1989, I had became selling drugs. I went from a $75 bag of crack cocaine to a $600 bag of crack cocaine to a $15,000 to $20,000 every other day of selling drugs. I went from a small baggie to 2 duffel bags. One duffel bag would be the hard rock of crack cocaine or soft of cocaine. The other bag would be anywhere between 15 and 20 pounds of marijuana. And I would travel by myself and meet drug dealers in Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, and I would purchase these drugs and drive them back to Ross County. I had 3 homes in this drug area. 2 of them was on 7th Street, and 1 was on Mechanic Street. So I had 3 houses that I was selling drugs out of and living in with my children. I had just became somebody that was not a mother. I was destroying myself, my own family, due to my drug selling. And then we moved into another house, which on the east side of town in 1996. And that's when I had got raided, when they came in and raided the house. They put my children on the floor, had guns up to my kids' heads. I did go to jail that night for possession of drugs. And then once I bonded out, I left 2 days later and moved to Fort Myers, Florida with my kids. And I stayed 3 years and came back, turned myself in. And I did a year in Lima, Ohio. Quite honestly, I believe that that was God's way of saving me. by allowing me to get busted and sending me to Florida, because who knows, maybe if I would have stayed, I would have became that addict as well. So I had a chance. And that chance is I got saved. So, with even going to Lima, Ohio Work Center taught me a lot, because there was a lot of Bible study there, a lot of talking about God, and it helped me. So I was able to find myself to allow God in and accept Him. And Where Was I is a name for my children. At the age of 15 and 14, that's when I found out my two sons had become addicts to the Percocets. So with that being said, I found that within my past of selling drugs in the 90s had became part of me through my children. Even though I didn't use drugs, my children have became addicts to certain drugs that I was also involved with. Once I found out that my kids was addicts to this Percocets, to the narcotics in 2007, that's when I lost control of everything. And at the time that I found out, that was when my son was trying to commit suicide on a bridge on 35 West of Chillicothe. And that's when I asked myself, where was I? How did I not see that my children had became this evil that my daddy already was and that I had became? I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to find how this happened. And at the same time, I kept asking my question, where was I? I asked them, how did this happen? And they were telling me, along with letting me know that there was a lot of kids in school that was actually shooting up heroin. And a lot of them were ladies. Said, Mom, you need to help her. Her purse is full of needles where she's shooting up heroin. And they were talking about a young lady that was their friend they grew up with. So at that time, that's when I started the house, Cheryls House of Hope. And what we do is we help them with life skills inside the house. We're going to be starting some case managing. They do outside treatment. They go to Brightview. Brightview does my treatment for them, does the counseling for them, and does the medication that the ladies would need. They also help with the mental health. They find a mental health treatment for them as well. While they're here at the house, we help them gain relationship back with their families, their parents, grandparents, whoever they manipulated. That's what we do. We help them get back into relationship with them at a sober level. We also help the ladies while they're here so that they don't get distracted and get upset if they have their child with them and their child needs diapers, if their child needs food, if their child, whatever the child or mom would need that we can help them with, we help them with that, so that way they don't get frustrated. Throw their hands up, I'm done, go back out and use again, leave the kids. We keep them at that level of being able to give them the resources to go out and get help, or to make a phone call. I send resources out myself, and I ask the community for these things. The community will provide the things that we need for the house as well. With Cheryls House of Hope, the contact is, you can email me, which is cbeverlyb@yahoo.com, 740-703-9615. I also have a website, which is www.wherewazeye.org. And you can also leave a message in the website.